In the 16th century, during a time when questioning established beliefs was met with grave consequences, one man dared to challenge the very foundations of thought. He envisioned a universe boundless and infinite, where divine presence was interwoven into every part of existence. His conviction that freedom of thought was humanity's greatest treasure defined his life. His name was Giordano Bruno, a visionary who paid the ultimate price for his ideas by facing a tragic death at the hands of the Inquisition. Giordano Bruno was born as Filippo Bruno in 1548 in the quiet town of Nola, nestled amidst the volcanic hills of southern Italy. Surrounded by nature's mysteries, Bruno's childhood curiosity seemed boundless. His relentless quest to understand the world around him led him to explore ideas that defied conventional wisdom. At the tender age of 17, Filippo joined the Dominican convent in Naples and adopted the name Giordano in honor of his mentor. Within the convent's vast library, Bruno immersed himself in theological, philosophical, and scientific texts. His passion for learning and willingness to question traditional doctrines soon set him apart. To him, the prevailing worldview of a finite hierarchical cosmos did not fully capture the grandeur of creation. Bruno posed daring questions and embraced forbidden ideas, delving into the works of intellectual pioneers such as Nicholas of Cusa. This made him both admired and feared within the convent's walls. The birth of a rebel. Giordano. Bruno's relentless questioning soon attracted the scrutiny of his superiors in the Dominican convent. His bold ideas about the cosmos and his challenges to established church doctrines sparked tension. Bruno's growing skepticism of the church's rigid structure reached its peak when he openly questioned the Holy Trinity and rejected the veneration of saints. When accusations of heresy arose, Bruno faced a pivotal decision: silence himself to preserve his position, or risk everything for his pursuit of truth. Refusing to conform, he fled the convent in 1576, leaving behind his monastic life and setting out on a journey that would define him as a revolutionary thinker. This act of defiance marked the beginning of a perilous path. For the next 16 years, Bruno wandered through Europe, seeking refuge and opportunities to share his groundbreaking ideas. His travels took him to France, Switzerland, England, and Germany. Each city became both a sanctuary and a battlefield, where his controversial beliefs sparked both admiration and hostility. In Geneva, Bruno attempted to align himself with Calvinist reformers, but he quickly realized that their rigid doctrines were no different from the orthodoxy he had abandoned. Undeterred, Bruno continued his intellectual journey, driven by a desire to explore new realms of thought and truth. A firebrand of ideas. Bruno's philosophical brilliance began to gain recognition in Paris, where he found refuge under the patronage of King Henry III. The king, captivated by Bruno's eloquence and audacity, appointed him as a philosophy professor. During this period, Bruno authored some of his most notable works, delving into the concepts of an infinite universe and countless worlds beyond our own. His time in England marked a significant chapter in his intellectual journey. There, Bruno encountered an audience more willing to entertain his ideas. He engaged in spirited debates with other scholars, challenging not only the prevailing Aristotelian worldview, but also the heliocentric model proposed by Copernicus. To Bruno, Copernicus's sun-centered system was merely a stepping stone toward a more profound truth. The universe was infinite, teeming with stars, each surrounded by their own planetary systems, and possibly harboring life. This groundbreaking vision, detailed in his work on the infinite universe and worlds, directly contradicted both religious and scientific doctrines of his time. Bruno's philosophical outlook was equally revolutionary. He saw God not as a distant, detached deity, but as an omnipresent force interwoven into the fabric of existence. Bruno's radical ideas extended beyond astronomy to religion and individual spirituality. In works like The Expulsion of the Triumphant Beast, he criticized religious dogma, advocating for personal inquiry and the unyielding pursuit of truth. His boldness earned him both admiration and powerful enemies: conflict and betrayal. Bruno's uncompromising quest for knowledge came at a steep price. While his intellectual courage opened doors to patrons and courts across Europe, it also created friction. His defiant attitude and refusal to temper his views alienated many potential allies. In an era where dissent was dangerous, Bruno's insistence on spreading forbidden ideas made him a target for powerful adversaries. Despite the growing risks, Bruno remained steadfast in his mission. He continued writing and lecturing, convinced that the truth could not be silenced. However, his tireless journey took a fateful turn when he was lured back to Italy in 1591, under the false promise of safety. In Venice, Bruno was arrested by the Inquisition in 1592. Accusations ranged from heresy to promoting ideas that directly challenged the Catholic Church's authority. After months of interrogation, he was transferred to Rome, where his trial would last an excruciating 8 years. Even during his imprisonment, Bruno's resolve remained unshaken. The tribunal charged him with heretical views, including his belief in the infinite universe, the denial of core church doctrines like the Holy Trinity, and the existence of countless inhabited worlds. Despite the mental and physical toll of his confinement, Bruno refused to renounce his convictions. The trial and final stand. Bruno's trial before the Inquisition was as much a clash of ideologies as it was a test of his spirit. The Church offered him numerous opportunities to recant his views and align with doctrine, yet each time Bruno stood firm. To him, the quest for truth was worth more than his own survival. His refusal to conform was a direct challenge to the Church's authority, and the inquisitors were determined to make an example of him. The tension reached its peak during one of his final interrogations, where Bruno boldly declared, "Perhaps you pronounce this sentence with greater fear than I receive it." His words epitomized his unyielding commitment to free thought and intellectual independence. In 1600, the tribunal sentenced Bruno to death by burning. The decision was intended not only to eliminate him as a heretic, but to serve as a chilling warning to others who might dare to defy the Church. The execution and legacy. On February 17, 1600, Giordano Bruno was led to the Campo dei Fiori in Rome. The bustling square was filled with onlookers who gathered to witness the execution. Bruno, bound to the stake and silenced by an iron gag, faced the flames with remarkable dignity. As the fire consumed his body, his ideas, rather than being extinguished, were ignited in the minds of future generations. Bruno's death marked the end of his earthly life, but the beginning of his legacy. His vision of an infinite universe, a God present in all things, and the courage to challenge dogma became inspirations for thinkers and scientists who followed. Over time, Bruno transformed from a condemned heretic to a symbol of intellectual freedom and resistance to oppression. In 1889, more than 2 centuries after his death, a bronze statue of Giordano Bruno was erected in the very square where he was executed. Today, it stands as a testament to his enduring influence and a reminder of the power of ideas to transcend time and overcome tyranny. Giordano Bruno's story reminds us of the profound price of courage in a world resistant to change. His unshakable belief in the boundlessness of the universe and the power of human thought inspires us to question, to explore, and to break free from the chains of fear. Though silenced by the flames, Bruno's voice echoes louder than ever, urging humanity to embrace knowledge, diversity, and the infinite possibilities of existence. Will we heed his call and dare to envision a future unbound by the limits of today? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to explore more stories of extraordinary visionaries who changed the world.